Me and Jeff Davis will be back. We don't want to control your life. We don't want to tell you how to live. We don't want to do any of this. All we want you to do is think for yourself and realize that we need some counterbalances to the rapid onset of the growth of military in this country. And I mean police forces. I've had SWAT team commanders, police tell me they don't like what's going on. They think things are fishy. They know too much federal money's coming into local police forces. And here it is right here, the New York Times, Wednesday, April 23rd, 1997. Whitewater Council, this is last Wednesday's, Whitewater Council says he has evidence of obstruction of justice. Now listen to this, I'm not going to go to the calls. Back to Jeff. Washington, April 22nd. The Whitewater prosecutor, Kenneth W. Starr, told a federal court today that he had found extensive evidence of obstruction of justice and that he needed more time to complete his investigation, which is centered on the political and personal affairs of President Clinton and his wife Hillary. Under Janet Reno in the Justice Department and Louis Freeh in the FBI. They're doing his bidding, and Clinton is fixing to get some serious trouble. The only question is he's exercising so much power, people are afraid of him. So check it out. That's the New York Times, a bastion of corrupt information. It's so deep now, and the alternative press has been pumping this out for years, that now the New York Times has lost so much credibility, they're having to at least put some of the truth in here just to cover their butts. So there you go. It's really hardcore. Jeff, I mean, what do you think about that? Now the New York Times is even starting to admit that Clinton's been intimidating witnesses. We've known this for years. For Clinton. I'm not saying Clinton did that, but a lot of weirdness has gone on. Commerce Secretary and DNC Chairman Ron Brown's plane blew up over Eastern Europe. Vince Foster, the list goes on and on. And top reporters for major newspapers and magazines have been fired for printing stuff about Vince Foster.
Well, I don't put a lot of my faith, Alex, in the New York Times.
I don't either.
The establishment media. The fact is, it don't take the New York Times to convince me that we got a government running amok. All you got to do is look at Mickey Weaver, who was shot in the head, 14-year-old Sam Weaver,
pregnant,
who was shot in the back.
And she also had a baby in
Ruby
her arms.
Ridge, Idaho, and 80-some plus people that were torched in Waco, Texas.
But they were extremists.
Over 4 years
Those children
ago.
deserve to die, Jeff,
Very
because
right.
They deserve to die.
We don't need.
They had guns in that
need
compound.
this New York Times to soft soak that this government is running amok.
It's a soft soak.
All you got to do is look at the facts, and you will see that this government is running amok. It's criminal, and
well, I want you to go back and tell us about the Ruby Ridge incident, because I heard all this in the media that he was supposedly this this evil guy or whatever, and he comes in crying before him. He said, "I've just been in Vietnam and I wasn't racist. I wanted to go buy some property and raise some crops, and the FBI kept messing with us and filming us. And then one day they shot the dog. We ran down, we heard it yelping, and my son got shot in the back. My pregnant wife lied about a year and a half ago.
14-year-old Sam Weaver
shot in the
back by
Well, what about the pregnant woman? The pregnant woman with the baby in her arms.
The fact is, these people...
Pieces of her skull went in the baby's face.
These people, Alex, are criminals wearing badges. Under the disguise of badges, they're criminals under the disguise of law enforcement. And these people need to be indicted. Same thing in Waco, Texas.
It's hardcore.
Where they took tanks into a building and with men, women, and children on the other side, and proceeded to drive that tank into that structure, which ultimately killed some of the people from blood force from the wall coming down on the tops of the heads of some of these people. And on this line, let me just mention, it's a good time to mention it. We were up at Waco last Saturday for the memorial service, 4th annual memorial service, and we actually interviewed on the Jeff Davis Show a fellow named Mike McNulty, who was the producer of the new movie coming out. It's called Waco Rules of Engagement. And it's going to be playing at the Dobie Theater.
That's a good place.
Starting at May the 2nd through the 8th.
A lot of good documentaries.
We've got free tickets. Our show's going down there. Some of the Davidians are coming down from Waco, possibly.
Those extremists
to preview the movie.
They should pump more seats.
May the 2nd, Dobie Mall, Waco Rules of Engagement, and supposedly, Alex, apparently, I haven't seen it, but apparently it does show evidence not only that the tanks were going through the structure, but also through the infrared technology now that's being released. It was showing where you could see sniper bullets shooting at the people. The 51st day on April 19 of 93, where some of the Davidians were trying to escape the building when it went up in flames, you could see sniper bullets actually gunning down some of these people that were escaping from this building. So this is a movie that I think...
Where's this going to be showing?
Dobie Mall Theater, May 2nd through the 8th.
Well, listen, Jeff, that is just damning evidence. I mean, that, and all I know is regardless of what kind of people were up there at Waco, and I've seen them on your show, they seem like really nice, sweet people, but irregardless of what was going on up there, but Irregardless, you don't pump in. Hold on.
Let me just make the point.
Hold on. You don't pump in CS gas,
Right
a
now,
banned gas since 1969, into a building with children. One little whiff of that will make you throw up and make your eyes water.
Not only that, right
It's a
now
banned
you've
chemical
got
weapon.
Richard McLaren, who's a friend of mine, I've had him on my
Yes.
show. He's the head of the Republic of Texas. Right now, they're demonizing him to the point. Regardless of what the characters and what these people are saying, Alex, because they could say the same thing about us.
You bet they can.
The fact is, we cannot have a government going around killing people, and that's exactly what's happened. That happened to Gordon Call, that happened to Ruby Ridge, that happened to Waco, and these are just the incidents that we're hearing about. The fact is that we have a government that's running amok, that's criminal, acting outside and above the law that they place for us. And this is the situation that we're now under. So, if this first caller wanted to ask why we should be strong on the Second Amendment, these are pretty good reasons why.
Absolutely. Well, we've got to go to from anybody. I don't want anybody to follow me back to any cult compound or nothing. I'm not an extremist. I want people to think about. Well, I am an extremist because everybody else is so bland and so twisted and so weird and so ready to lay down to this slavery. I guess I am an extremist.
Yes, I am too.
Absolutely. And one quick thing. I apologize to Blue, Dave, and Charlie. We'll be back in a few minutes, and I promise you we'll go straight to your calls. We here at KJFK believe strenuously in the First, Second, Third, Fourth Amendment, but we don't like that 16th Amendment. Now, I promise that we'll go to the callers, and I appreciate them holding. Blue, you've been a saint. How you doing?
Berg meeting that where they officially declared Clinton was going to be their puppet candidate. Is that the one you're referring to, or? Okay, go ahead.
I want to tell you that Clinton is a member, a triple member, Bilderbergers, Trial Commission, and the CFR. And rat excrement.
Nothing but in fact, he's been groomed since a young boy. He groomed out of Arkansas. Where's it? Rockefeller. Special interstate, groomed as a young boy.
Oh, absolutely. That's why
he became a governor at an early age, became the president early, because he's been groomed all along to be a perfect puppet.
I want to stop you right there. I want to stop you right there, Jeff. You said it's a Rockefeller special interstate. That's true. The Rockefellers send their sons and their nephews.
Governor Nelson.
They've had a couple senators from there. So we're go ahead. It's hardcore.
Go ahead.
Get that out there. He said on a CFR meeting that I saw on C-SPAN, 6-8 months ago. I can't remember now. I've actually shown it on my television program. He says that we have to get this population under control. We may need, forced sterilization and infanticide just isn't cutting it. That was his exact words.
Hey, Blue, let me just quickly answer. I'm not slave masters, the global rulers, the wicked devils that create finance wars, do believe that there are too many feeders on the planet. So they are devising programs. Through abortion, warfare, creation of different diseases, and I'm going to just touch upon this. I believe that they have the technology to manipulate weather patterns to create droughts, maybe in Africa and whatnot, to starve people. They've also used one of their main mechanisms, the UN, which has, through economic sanctions, literally starved hundreds of thousands of Iraqi women and children.
That's true.
The fact is, they are implementing population control programs at this point. Now,
I have to tell you something, Jeff.
They believe that the slave masters believe that there's too many feeders on the planet, so they need to eliminate a certain number of them.
Well, what they do is, with those kind of international treaties, we have to obey them. If the president pushes it through and then the Congress ratifies it, then what happens is we have to abide by those because we've made it one of our laws. And part of it, under all this lovely rules and things, is that the police can bust in your house. Hold on. Sure, go ahead.
Go ahead, Blue.
I keep seeing stuff on Discovery Channel and A&E, and it's the Russians that brag around Moscow that they can clear the air with these weather control antennas that charge the atmosphere. And it's a bunch of technical mumbo-jumbo, but what they do is they just pump electricity into the upper atmosphere. They've got planes that can release chemicals and do whatever they want. So I don't know what Jeff's talking about.
They've also got a system called HARP in Alaska. But let me just mention something to you, Blue. First off, I appreciate your call.
I'm just saying all this has even been in the main